Hello everyone, my name is Phillip Jermann. I'm AIM's Quality Assurance Manager, and today we're going to talk about GinkgoSense. Now some of you maybe have never taken GinkgoSense. Some of you may have been taking it for years and enjoyed the results. And maybe there's a few of you who are just starting with the new formulation. And that's what we're going to talk about mainly today, is this new formulation. Now GinkgoSense, some of you have been taking it up to 19 years when it was introduced in 2001. And that's great. You've probably been enjoying some of the great benefits associated with the Ginkgo Biloba, the bilberry extract, the lutein zeaxanthin, and the DHA. Now what we saw in this formulation is a chance to really make some changes to really benefit all the members of AIM. So one of the issues that we saw with this formulation is the DHA, which comes from fish. And unfortunately for our vegan friends, that really takes it out of the realm of possibilities for a supplement. So we knew that we wanted to try to make this formulation vegan. So when we're talking about fish and a fish oil in this formula, what we have to do is we have to microencapsulate this oil because we're putting it into a powder capsule. So what happens is we have to take these little microscopic beadlets of oil and we actually have to cover it in gelatin. And unfortunately, once we cover it in gelatin, we've also added another animal component to the product. It creates a nice flowable powder and we're able to deliver it in these capsules, but we're adding another animal product and we've added some extra excipient ingredients, which you can see here listed below as the other ingredients. So we knew we could do better. We wanted to change, we wanted to create a vegan formula. Well, that's where it started. And the reformulation of our product doesn't just happen overnight. It takes years to develop. And so we knew we wanted to change. And I was at the Toronto convention in 2018. And I was visiting with Marlene Miller. And Marlene actually gave me a book. And many members do, bring books to me and ask me to read them. And I do read those books. And this book was about curcumin. And I had known about curcumin. I had seen it in the news. It was very blowing up out there in the nutritional world, and just didn't know how to incorporate it into the AIM products. Curcumin is a nice standalone, but I wanted to incorporate it into something that we already had. So I started reading through this book, and I found that there was a lot of studies, a lot of research into brain health, specifically cognition, memory health. And that's when it keyed for me. That's when I knew that's where we could include the product. GinkgoSense and curcumin could become one. So that really started us down the road, getting us going in this reformulation. So the old GinkgoSense, it was 1 capsule serving. It was 30 capsules per bottle. So it was a 30-day supply. And what we have now in the new GinkgoSense is we actually have 60 capsules per bottle, 2 capsules per serving. So you're still getting a 30-day supply. So don't think that you're losing anything there by going from 2 capsules. What actually happened is we had so much more powder to deliver to you in these capsules that we actually had to increase the capsule size and go from 1 capsule to 2 capsules. Now, the Ginkgo Biloba in the formula actually remains the same, 120 milligrams of Ginkgo Biloba extract per serving or per 2 capsules. Those are still standardized to the same ginkgo flavone glycosides and the terpene lactones. Now what we've added to that is the curcumin, which we talked about. We also keep the lutein and zeaxanthin, which was previously in the formula, but we increased the amount. We did lose the bilberry, which I know for some of you, the bilberry is a big part of the previous formula. And what we did is when we were researching the ingredients that were in the previous formula, we found that there was a lot of anecdotal evidence with bilberry and its ability to increase night vision. And I think a lot of that is based on some previous testimonials from some World War II veterans who actually were consuming a bilberry jam and found to see like actual benefits for night vision while they were flying. Unfortunately, the actual research, clinical research out there wasn't very strong. So we felt like we could lose the bilberry and make up for that in other ways. So we've lost the bilberry, but we've added ashwagandha, which we'll get into later. We also added ginger and black pepper. And then, as you can see, we've also lost the DHA or fish oil. But now we're able to provide you a vegan formula, certified vegan through Vegan Action. And if you look at the other ingredients in this formula, very simple. We have our vegan capsule, rice flour, and a rice extract. Very simple, clean, and that's what consumers are looking for, is clean labels without the excipients. And that's what we've delivered here with this formula. So has the Ginkgo Biloba changed? Is there anything that's changed about it? No, absolutely not. The Ginkgo Biloba is the exact same extract, 120 milligrams per serving that you're going to get. It's standardized to the 24% ginkgo flavone glycosides and 6% terpene lactones. Now, when we're testing through these specific components, we're also testing for other flavonoids and other lactones in there to ensure the efficacy of the product. As you can imagine, you're harvesting a plant and you get seasonal variation in that plant as you would. What we're doing is we're ensuring that each one is precise as can be, so we're getting the exact same benefits to the consumer. So we're also looking at quercetin, we're also looking at camphorol, and then we're looking at the A, B, and C lactones. All these things are important in the testing regimen that goes into the efficacy of these products. So GinkgoSense has a lot to do with cognition, and that's where the Ginkgo Biloba comes in. In this study specifically, they looked at 197 individuals, ages 55 to 86. Now this is a good size study, 197 individuals. Those are a lot of people, which is good because you're going to see a wide variety of changes because every individual is a little different. So you're going to see a wide variety of results. Now, it also happened over 24 weeks. Most studies only last 4 to 8 weeks. Cost a lot of money to do a clinical study. So we know we're seeing real results here over 6 months. And what they found is short-term visual memory actually improved in these individuals. They improved as much as 18 to 26%. That's huge over top of a placebo, which it only increased by 11%. Now you might think, 7 to 15%, that's not a great increase. But we're talking about memories, things that we build upon throughout a lifetime. If I can get a 7 to 15% increase in just my short-term visual memories, I'm going to spend whatever it takes to get that, because those are precious moments for each of us. Now, these results indicated that these ginkgo extracts were extremely promising in the elderly for cognitive impairment. And these are the results that we're kind of looking for as we're going through these studies, looking for ingredients that work for us. So we know about Ginkgo Biloba. Lutein zeaxanthin was in the previous formula. So in lutein, in the previous formula, we had 400 micrograms per serving. In the new GinkgoSense formula, there are 10 milligrams. Okay, let's compare apples to apples. 400 micrograms in the old to 10,000 micrograms in the new. Zeaxanthin went from 18 micrograms to 500 micrograms. That's a 27 times increase in zeaxanthin and a 25 times increase in lutein. These are huge jumps in numbers. Where does this benefit us? Ocular health. It's the first thing that we think about. So let's look at the anatomy of the eye. You've got the macula and you've got the retina, okay? These are components in the back of the eye. Now there's the carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. They kind of are a layer in front of these two tissues. They act as like a barrier almost. One thing that we see, especially when we're talking about light and ocular health, is blue light. I'm sure you've heard it in the news. It's everywhere. It comes from the sun, comes in the lights around us. Our tablets, our computers, our smartphones, they're all emitting blue light. Now, a little bit of blue light is healthy. It's good. But we're way too addicted to our personal devices, and we get a lot of screen time. and that's a lot of exposure to blue light. So if we can take a supplement that's going to increase that barrier to reduce and filter out some of that blue light, we need to take advantage of that. You'll even see glasses on the market to help reduce blue light, which is great. I have a pair, I use them, but I don't wear them all the time. I'm not wearing them constantly. This is almost like a pair of glasses, blue light glasses that you can consume and are with you all the time to help filter out some of that really negative blue light that can have some detrimental effects to ocular health. But it also has cognitive benefits. We get cognitive benefits from taking lutein and zeaxanthin. So you can see in this study in 2017, they took individuals 51 years and older, and they gave them 12 milligrams of lutein and zeaxanthin. Now the GinkgoSense formula contains 10.5 milligrams, so comparable amount, not nearly as much, but close. What they found is they had improvements in macular pigment, optical density. This is all through the supplementation of lutein and zeaxanthin. It improved the cognitive function in these community-dwelling older adults, and it benefited both men and women in this study. So not only were we getting an ocular benefit, but we're also getting a cognitive benefit, brain health. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we know, we've learned about what was already in the old formula. You may be all a review for you. If you've been taking it for 19 years, you may say, I've known all this stuff, I'm good. Let's jump into the fun stuff. Let's talk about curcumin. So curcumin actually comes from turmeric. It's a root. And what we do is we extract that compound from turmeric. So it is a polyphenol that we're extracting. We grind it into a powder and we extract it and concentrate it at a 24-to-1 ratio. That means it takes 24 pounds of turmeric to get 1 pound of our curcumin powder, and that's standardized to 95% curcuminoids. Curcuminoids are the polyphenol that creates that bright yellow color, and that's what really has those unique health benefits associated with that specific ingredient. Unfortunately, curcumin is not that absorbable. We actually have a really hard time absorbing curcumin. So in this study, you look at these people were consuming 2 grams of curcumin a day. And if you look on the x-axis, so that's the bottom part of this graph, you'll see just this little blip, this tiny little increase. Those people taking curcumin just really didn't add any blood serum levels when they examined it. But when they added black pepper to the curcumin that they were consuming, they saw this huge spike in blood serum levels. The pepperin in the black pepper actually creates a bioavailable curcumin that our body can actually absorb and use, and we get the benefit from. Gotta have the black pepper in there. If you don't have black pepper in the product, you're not going to be getting the benefits. And if you are, you'll see on this graph, it's just a minuscule amount of benefit. Okay, what about the cognitive benefit, right? Well, first, there's been over 3,000 preclinical studies done on curcumin. It's one of the most studied supplements out there. It's extremely exciting. And of those dedicated to brain health, the majority of those focus on mental acuity, which is your mental sharpness, your focus. And who doesn't want to have an increase in mental focus and sharpness? We're all looking for some kind of edge out there, whether we're a student, maybe we're in business, maybe we're an athlete. We're all looking for some kind of edge, and a mental edge is huge. So why wouldn't we want to try to get that mental edge? And that's what we're delivering through this type of product. So in this study here in 2006, what they did is they gave this mini mental state exam to these individuals. 1,000 individuals they gave this exam to. And what they did is they looked at all kinds of things: memory, attention, language, all these different things. And then once they finished and they had their results, they went back and asked them, well, we want to know, how often do you consume curry? Curry is a dish that uses turmeric, which we know curcumin comes from turmeric. So they asked, oh, just by the way, now that you've taken our exam, how much curry do you eat? And of those who consume curry occasionally and often or very often had significantly better scores than those who did never or very rarely consume curry. Interestingly, if you look at curry as a dish, it's commonly served with black pepper. It's part of the cooking process. So by chance maybe, or something else going on, the recipe itself for creating curry actually creates a bioavailable curcumin that people are actually seeing a benefit from unknowingly. They're seeing a mental advantage by consuming curry. Now, the last ingredient that I'm going to talk about, I'm really excited about. It's ashwagandha. And if you don't know how to pronounce it, hopefully you can use my pronunciation there to get comfortable with it. And if not, that's okay. I went to an expo last year and it's blowing up in the marketplace. Consumers are becoming more aware of what ashwagandha is and what the benefits are associated with it. It is an adaptogen, and the term adaptogen is becoming also extremely popular in the market. Think of it as balancing. An adaptogen is making it more balanced, our body more balanced. So it brings you up when you're feeling low, and it also brings you down when you're feeling up. Again, it's that balancing process. It has the ability to decrease cortisol levels, decrease stress scores, and decrease stress eating. The one on the end is number one for me. For some reason, when I get stressed out, carbs seem to be my friend. It seems to make me feel better. So if I can do something to help curb that, decrease that stress eating, then that's what ashwagandha is going to do for me. Now, think about all the ages of adulthood. A young adult, middle age, older adults. We all need help balancing. We also need that decrease in stress levels. So we're talking about mental health. We're also talking about stress. Stress has a big impact on our ability to have improved cognition, improved memory. And that's where ashwagandha really works its way into this formulation. It may not seem like ashwagandha seems like it may be quite a little bit out of turn, but it's really important in creating that perfect harmonized product that we have with GinkgoSense. So I'm really excited about this formula. I hope you guys are too. People need to learn a little bit about what some of these ingredients are when you're sharing it with them. But when you talk about giving someone a mental advantage through GinkgoSense, I think you're going to find they're going to be excited in all levels of adulthood. Well, that's all I have for today. I want to thank everybody. We'll see you next time.